Hey everybody, welcome, and thank you for listening to this episode of Marriage Therapy Radio. My name is Zach Brittle. I'm here with Laura Heck. This is a fun one today. We talk about a television show that we both watched, and we break it down to see if there aren't some cool takeaways. I think there are. I eat a little bit of crow because I was wrong. We get an opportunity to say thank you, which is one of my favorite things to do. So I'll say it right now. Thank you so much for your support of Marriage Therapy Radio, particularly those of you who have jumped on board with our Patreon program. We have a cool interview coming out real soon with Terry Real and his wife Belinda. So if you're not yet, if you don't yet have access to those interviews, you can do that by visiting marriagetherapyradio.com, clicking on our Patreon and becoming a member there. We appreciate your support, helping us keep the lights on. But for now, I hope you'll enjoy vicariously watching this television show with us. The show is called Nobody Wants This. It's a love story that features, of all things, a podcaster and also a rabbi. This is a very cool conversation. Stick around. How you doing?
Are we recording?
Yeah. Yep. Just wondering if you're going to join us this morning.
No, I'm here. My body is here. Do you want to see my outfit?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
You got a little like 1970s flight attendant thing going on right now. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's not going to work on the airplane.
Oh, God. Yeah.
I went to a party recently and it was, the theme was Zoom theme, like a Zoom work meeting theme. So you had to be like professional on top, but pajamas
Lazy
on the bottom.
Yeah.
So it was pretty fun. It was actually at our mutual friend's house.
Oh, that is kind of fun.
Yeah.
It would be kind of fun if like you could have you ever like where you put your head through like a piece of cardboard and then the cardboard is your Zoom background and maybe it's like a sunset or something.
Yeah.
Like you're on the beach.
No, I've never done that.
No, never.
Yeah.
Yeah. My brain's a little scrambled. We were talking about that for our Patreon listeners, like the behind the scenes. But speaking of Patreon, we've got some really
people
awesome
are stepping
followers.
up. It's really cool.
Yeah. Can we do some shout outs to some of our latest and greatest?
Yeah, I suppose.
Let's do that. See. I also have, by the way, I've received several emails, which I think have
hold
been
on just 1 second because I would like to eat crow on your behalf in just a second. Yeah. Okay. So Vicky, Kimberly, Emily, Khalid, all brand new Patreon people.
As of when? As of like last
starting
week?
in October. Yeah.
Right on.
These are all October people.
Yeah.
Amanda's here. So David, Michelle, and Matt.
Whoa.
I think, you know what I think is happening is we have started rolling out some of these So I Married episodes.
Yeah.
So the first one was with Rebecca and I, which we've gotten some cool feedback. I've gotten a couple of like very sweet pieces of feedback from people who were like, hey, thank you so much for that. I mean, it's pretty vulnerable and Rebecca was kind of nervous about it, but to have people respond and say, somebody's called it beautiful. I was like, oh, okay, that's really nice.
Yeah.
And then this last week, Harville Hendricks and Helen LaKelly Hunt came out and that turned out real nice. They're fascinating, you know. And then Terry and Belinda are next. So if you're interested in hearing Terry Real and Belinda Berman, they are rolling out next. Not too late to become a Patreon member. I just want to thank all of you who have already done that. And now I will eat crow.
Yeah.
Because
so on the last episode, I made mention something about somebody listening to every episode, and you're like, no.
I said only Jason. Jason is the only person to listen to every single episode.
Jason, nobody has heard Jason's voice, but he's our producer, and he's the guy that listens to the episodes, cleans them up, takes out Zach's like gargly voice from time to time and coughs.
But the internet quickly proved us wrong.
Yeah. The internet, our listeners did. So I have an email from Brian. Brian said, I have absolutely listened to every episode of Marriage Therapy Podcast. Actually, with the most current episode exempted, I have listened to every episode twice. He even played episode 95 about the boring neutral to his leadership team at work to teach them how to not read into emotion in an email or text.
Right on.
Brilliant. So there's one. The other one was Ari, I think. That's just memory. I'm looking at my email here, but I think Ari also emailed. Yep. And he said, I've listened to every episode as well. And it sounds like we have
over on the Instagram, we had Chris, Anna, and Angela
Oh my gosh.
all raise their hands and say, hey, I just want to let you know, Chris says there have to be hundreds of people who have listened to all your episodes. I only started listening 15 months ago and I got through them all. So and then the sweet lady from Patreon, again, her name is Britta and she's in Germany.
Cool.
And she's listened to every single episode. So I actually think this is fascinating. Did I just say fascinating?
I'm glad that you heard that because I also heard it and was like kind of tickled by it, to be honest.
I think this is absolutely mind-blowing that people listen to every single episode. I just don't have that attention span at all for myself. I can't even think of anything.
Oh, I do.
Well, I guess I do binge stuff, but
yeah, you totally do.
Anyway, thank you for listening to Marriage Therapy Radio. And
they keep listening for some reason.
Yeah.
We've got you. We've got our hooks in you. You're not going anywhere.
I mean, I don't know, man. It's inspiring a little bit, like to think. Here's what I want to do. If we just said your name,
yes,
I want to talk to you. Like, we want to talk to you. We'll talk to you on the podcast. We'll talk to you off the podcast. But I want to know, like, I have a legitimate question, which is, how has listening to every single episode of Marriage Therapy Radio changed your life? Like, how has it made your relation? I mean, you're continuing to listen to it. Like, does it actually, one guy played it for his leadership group at his office. Right. And he said, this has changed the way we do business. Maybe, but if it's changed your actual relationship or maybe your counseling practice as a therapist, like, I want to talk to you. So give us a shout out. We'll have you as a guest on, or we won't. We'll just talk to you because you went from going to a place of humility where you're like, there's no way people have listened to our podcast, to now you're saying, how has this changed I'm still
your
there.
life?
I literally am still there. I want to know.
I don't think it's changed people's lives. I think that they're entertained. I think maybe they think about something differently. All right.
That's why I want to talk to them.
Okay. If it's changed your life. I want them
to help me understand where the value is, because I want to continue to provide that. Plus, as we've said several times, you and I are both sort of trying to figure out how much longer we've got, how much more gas we have in the tank. And, if it's changing your life, by all means, let's get on board with you. So that's my little thing.
Okay. So I will say, who was it? Was Brian? I think it was Brian. He sent an email and I forwarded it, or maybe I responded back to him, but I was like, you know what? I had a really profound response to this email that you sent me. And I realized how incredible it felt to get some kind of validation or some kind, affirmation that like what I'm doing in my home, wearing half of my clothing, I have to like put makeup on and sit here and talk. And sometimes my brain's on, sometimes it's not. But I was just thinking about how we go through our day, and especially for, like what we do, or as a mom or as a wife, like I don't get affirmation or validation from very many people. I kind of have to ask for it sometimes from my spouses, but we've never asked for validation. Well, maybe we have actually when we've asked for people to go on and rate us on like iTunes. That's something that we've done.
If you bought our book, by the way, we do need some affirmation. Like our publishers are being like, hey man, can you get some people to review your book? So especially if you bought it on Amazon and you go back to the place where you bought it and you can review as a verified purchaser, we'll be very happy. We'll be thankful. I'm already thankful. Like the book's been so cool. Like to have people just kind of, anyway, I don't want to do that, but
I think more of what I'm pointing to is this idea of if you are someone that for any reason can just affirm another human being today, just affirm them, just tell them like, hey, you're here every day. Like, like something that I was thinking about, I dropped my kid off at school today and the head of school and several of the teachers all are always standing out front, and all they do is just say hello and good morning to the kids as they walk through the door. And I don't think I've ever told them like, this is really cool what you're doing. Like I enjoy seeing you every day. I enjoy you seeing me drop my kid off. It brings my kid joy to see you every single day. And I just need to affirm them because it's pretty darn special. But that's my tip. My marriage tip is affirm somebody today.
Hey gang, it's time to interrupt the podcast to ask a question. Have you ever felt overwhelmed, exhausted, or distant or disconnected from your partner? My guess is the answer is yes, or else you wouldn't be listening to Marriage Therapy Radio. I've been talking to clients a lot about how to manage just feeling like we're not on the same page. People have a hard time finding time to connect with one another in the busyness of their lives. I know that's an issue for Rebecca and I. And we've actually found strategies that help us connect asynchronously, meaning we don't have to be in the same place at the same time to find ways to communicate and otherwise feel connected. So I want to talk to you today about an app called Paired. It's an app for couples who want to strengthen a relationship. It's founded on the simple belief that real, lasting love is actually a daily practice. I love this word practice. There's the idea that practice makes perfect, but it's not true. Practice makes permanent. And when we practice being lazy, we get good at it. And when we practice connecting with one another, we get good at that too. All of Paired's content is backed by experts and relationship therapists like me and Laura, and it's proven to work. Here's how it works. You and your partner download the app, you pair together, and every day Paired gives you personalized questions, quizzes, and games to stay connected, deepen your connections, and to have fun too. When you sign up for Paired Premium, only one partner needs to pay for the subscription, two for the price of one. The best part is that you can't see your partner's answers until you've answered yourself. So it's a safe space to have open, honest discussion about your relationship. No faking it, no pretending, just genuine connection. Getting into a routine that provides a meaningful connection in your relationships can be challenging. Paired is the perfect tool to establish that bond daily. So, whether you're just a few dates in or you've been together for a long time, find the time to connect with your partner and nourish your relationship. With the Paired app, it's easy, fun, and only takes about 5 minutes a day. And we have an exclusive deal for listeners of Marriage Therapy Radio. You get 50% off your subscription by going to paired.com/MTR50. Again, you'll get 50% off if you sign up for a subscription using our link at paired.com/MTR50 to sign up today. Don't download it on your phone. Go to the website, type it in. It's a great way to support Marriage Therapy Radio and stay connected. That's kind of what I want to talk about today, by the way.
Not at all. Completely disconnected. You want to talk about the show, right?
Yeah, but that's what I want to talk about is why this show is so good.
You know what's really awesome is that you were like, hey, do you think maybe you can watch these 2 episodes? I was like, I binge watched this in Cabo. I'm done. And then I rewatched the whole thing again.
What'd you think?
Well, first of all, I mean, I would like to be best friends with Kristen Bell. And I would also like to bang whatever his name is. I don't even want to be married to him. His name's Adam
Brody. But
Adam Brody.
Yeah. But you don't want to bang Adam Brody. You want to bang Noah.
No, I want to bang Adam Brody. I've had a crush on that guy since I can't even tell you what, the last 15 years.
Okay.
He's adorable. I'm really into it. I would climb him like a tree. Anyway.
All right. So once we're done talking about your fantasies of infidelity, can we get to the show?
No, it's not infidelity. Ryan would give me a hall pass. It would be fine. I would not go outside the bounds of my marriage.
It's like he's on your list.
He is. It's Jake Gyllenhaal and now Adam Brody. I've been putting it out into the universe, and damn it, it's going to happen. Yeah. I'm going to get a phone call someday, and it's going to be like, yes, can I help you? And the only unknown numbers are clients.
This is Sarah from Adam Brody's office, and we understand that you would like to bang him. So we are wondering if you're available on Thursday around 5:30 p.m.
Make that happen.
Yeah, he'll be in Bend for a fundraiser later that evening. He'll be a celebrity judge at a...
Oh my gosh, that would really, I mean, if we're going to tick all the boxes, come be a fundraiser for my nonprofit fundraise. Yeah. That would be amazing. Okay.
All right, we're talking about this show called Nobody Wants This. And it's currently on Netflix. Yeah. And it is all the rage. It's number 1 on the list and everything. And I don't tend to be the guy who wants to watch the most popular show. I mean, sure, I'm into the standard stuff, but Rebecca asked me to watch this show with her, and I was like, sure, it looks decent enough. And I think it's really, really good. And I've been recommending it to clients. So I'm not here to talk to you about a television show, which I am, but I'm here to talk about why you ought to carve out time to observe this relationship unfold. So,
So anyway, do we give the premise?
Well, the premise is that she's a podcaster. She's a sex podcaster specifically.
She kind of does what we do.
Yeah. Actually, when she's describing her podcast to people, to him, I'm like, yeah, that's how I want people to think about ours. But she and her sister get on and they talk about sex, but it always starts with them kind of talking about each other and giving each other crap about their dating life and whatever. Yeah. And they go into whatever topic they have, whether that's
or guest or whatever.
Guest or topic. So that was a little sidebar. I turned to Rebecca and I said, you know what? Actually, when I think about why we're doing Marriage Therapy Radio, it's exactly that, and it's basically the sense of they want to normalize and make sure people appreciate that, like, talking about sex is okay, and that sexual, curiosity is valuable, and that there are things outside the mainstream that need to. And then, of course, they're arguing with each other all the time, so it's like you can argue and still be close, and then they add value through content. Anyway, that's her job. And she, so the premise there is that she's kind of a disaster in relationships, or her job is to like date and report back. And then she goes to this dinner party and she meets Noah Rocklov. It's his name. That's Adam Brody. And he's a rabbi. So he's kind of on the other end of the, let's say, I don't want to call it conservative, but sort of the decorum spectrum, right? Like, she's real open and free about her and like public, and he's more like stewarding a private community of people around religious values. And anyway, they meet and it's like, oh, how's this going to work? And that's the premise of the show over the next 10 episodes.
But they didn't. You know what I appreciate is that they didn't write it off, because like so often had they been scrolling through Instagram or scrolling through whatever dating apps or whatever, and they saw each other, I don't know if he would have written her off. Maybe. I mean, the whole concept is that she's a Goya? No. What is it when you're...
Shiksa.
Shiksa?
She's Shiksa.
Yeah. Man, our New Yorkers are probably laughing at us right now. They're like, come on, you guys. We're on the West Coast. Not a lot of Jews out here. And I didn't grow up actually with like a ton of Jewish friends, which I have to say, I remember taking History of the Jews was the name of the course that I took. In therapy school. And I just felt like, I was like, whoa, it says of the Jews. Like, is it okay to say Jews? And he was like, yes, it's okay to say, but it felt wrong to me. And I had to, I was like, okay, it's okay. So I'm going to tell you that I'm saying that. And it's been okayed by Jerry Saltzman, God bless his, rest his soul, who was my instructor. I don't remember names very often, but he was an incredible instructor.
Yeah, there's some comedian, I can't remember who it is, but he speaks to exactly that, where like the word Jew is like the only example of where it's like the actual name of the ethnicity and also a slur.
Interesting.
And so it's sort of like
so okay, but what I was
he's
saying
a
is that, like, had they not met at a friend's house, and she originally thought that he was a divorced dad, right? Or something else.
She thought he was the divorcee.
But I think do you think they would have written each other off? My guess is she probably never would have swiped left or right or whatever way you swipe if it was like, this is what I do for a living.
So I think they would not have matched.
Right. They would not have matched.
What you're saying. They would not have matched on the app.
You're right. But they met each other organically at a friend's house, and she didn't discover that he was a rabbi. And I think they like immediately, she was like, nah, this isn't going to work. You're a rabbi. I'm not interested. This is never going to work.
Not exactly. I mean, she meets him and they have a chemistry and they connect. Yeah. And she thinks the other guy is the rabbi. She's like, that guy over there who looks like a rabbi is the rabbi. Right. And so she's like, all right, well, cool. Nice to meet you. See you later. And then they sit down at dinner, and at dinner, somebody asks a question, and they said, let's ask the rabbi. And everybody, she turns her shoulders to the guy and she's like, well, what do you think? And he's like, what? What? Yeah. And then from behind her, Noah starts talking, and she's like, oh,
he's the rabbi.
You're the rabbi. Yeah. And then now the whole thing kicks off. But here's what I want to say. First of all, credit to the writers, because the show is really, really well written. It's just clever and it's funny. Like, I don't know anybody on the actual planet Earth who has access to the wit and wisdom that is flowing out of the mouths of these characters. Yeah. But this is the thing I want to say. Every single time Noah opens his mouth, he says yes. So something will happen and it will thwart the plot or thwart the relationship or thwart his own agenda. And in my brain, I'm sitting there going, I know what he's going to say, because it's the thing I would say, the defensive thing, or the clever thing, or the thing that's going to help me feel safe. But he and so it's the writers surprised me every single time because I was like, oh, that's brilliant that he just said that. And it made me go, that's exactly what I would tell my clients to do. Like when I'm talking to particularly men about how to like play the long game or keep the ball rolling or accept influence, like this is a case study in watching someone do that. And he is absolutely brilliant, which is why I think everybody falls in love with him. It's why I said you don't want to bang out and Broder, you want to bang this guy Noah because he's so warm and all he's doing is kicking the can down the road until he needs to say the thing that he needs to say to redirect or correct or pivot the moment. Right.
Yeah.
So
I was trying to think of like an example of like, what is an example in the show? And then the one that I can think of, which is an interesting dynamic, is this whole idea that he had just come off of a relationship in which his old partner actually proposed to him.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah.
sort of trapped and just assumed that they were going to be engaged.
Yeah. This is not a spoiler. It's literally the first scene of the movie where she has found his ring that he has
and
had.
she just put it on and she's like
months.
We're
and she's
engaged.
like, I put it on. Like you were going to propose anyway, so I just started wearing it. And you're like, wow. Yeah. Well, but this is but I think maybe this is what you're saying. Sorry. Because that would have really pissed me off.
Sure.
I would have been like, what do you do? Like, this is
totally.
Her name was Rebecca. Like, Rebecca, like, seriously. But he doesn't. Well, it's really intriguing.
Yeah. I mean, his response is always kind of cool, calm, and collected. And it's also still respectful. And it's interesting because, like, in that moment, he kind of like checks in with himself and he's like, is this what I want? And he's like, no, this isn't what I truly want. And I think that that's like the whole element of this entire show is this question of what do you really want and what are you willing to lean into? Like, what are you willing to yield to? And that's where when you started talking about him saying yes, I was like, when does he say yes? When does he go, I'm not going to get defensive about this. I'm going to say yes. I'm going to respond with kindness and appropriateness, whatever it might be. But I'm trying to remember like very specific moments when he does that.
Well, here's one that I actually loved. It actually like, I think I audibly gasped. So there's a scene where he's at the synagogue and he has just given the talk and he says to Joanna, I'll meet you in a minute. And so she goes outside and he gets hung up. He gets like waylaid by all the people who want to talk to him. Yeah. So she's there and she doesn't quite know what to do and she's feeling insecure. She calls her sister and her sister comes and he's like, wait. And they're all getting ready to go. And the sister's like, hold on a second. You made her wait for like 15 minutes. He goes, it was only 10 minutes. And she goes, it was 15 minutes. Are you gaslighting me right now?
Yes.
And he goes, it was 10 minutes. I was it was 15 minutes. I was gaslighting you. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Like he just like, and I was like, what? He just like gave up. He gave it up. He said, yep, you can have these 5 minutes back. I'm not.
Totally.
That is not the point.
Yeah.
And I definitely am not going to be a person who fits into the category of gaslighting on behalf of defending my point of view.
Yeah.
So a sidebar story I want to tell you because that scene very specifically humbled me and in this way. About, 2 weeks ago or so, I poured some Mike and Ike's out on the counter of our kitchen. Because I was going to eat them. I was like, just poured them out on the counter. And one of them rolled off and hit the ground. Like it rolled off the counter and hit into whatever. And Rebecca said, hey, one of your Mike and Ike's just rolled off the counter. And I hadn't seen it. So I said, no, it didn't. And then she turned around and she like went into the refrigerator or something. And I looked down on the ground and there was the Mike and Ike and I picked it up and I plopped it in my mouth. And I just ate it. And I did not say one thing.
You didn't say anything. Like, found my Mike and Ike.
Nope.
Yeah.
So then I'm watching this show and I realized like, holy cow, like gaslighting isn't, I know we talked about this a couple episodes ago.
Yeah.
It's not like, I don't really care about the term or whatever, but it's literally making someone think that their reality isn't real.
Yeah.
And so last night I sat down with Rebecca and I said, I have to tell you something. She said, oh no. And I go, no, it's good. Don't worry about it. It's fine. And I said, a couple weeks ago, Mike and Ike fell on the floor and I told you it didn't. And I need to tell you that it did roll on the floor and that I I ate it and I didn't say anything and I feel really badly about it. And I just want you to know I don't want to be a person who gaslights you. And she started crying.
No, she
Like,
didn't.
yeah, she did. I was
Because
like,
you're so
it wasn't-
different now.
I mean, she did have like a little bit of a shit-eating grin on her face. Like she knew she was right, but it was like, it touched her. And I was like, that's what Noah would do. That's what Noah Rockloff would do. He would own his stuff. And so,
Yeah.
it was also that in particular was a really interesting case study for me in being 100% sure that I was right. I was 100% sure that the bike had not fallen on the floor, at least for 3 seconds.
Really?
100%. Yeah. I didn't see it. So it didn't happen.
Oh my gosh.
And then I was like, oh my gosh, I was wrong. So even just for 3 seconds to have to like grapple with like, I thought for sure a thing happened or didn't happen. And then I learned it didn't. And then what I did in response was crazy. But my point is, watching the show makes me want to be a better man. I tell my clients to watch this show.
Okay.
Because it's sort of got a little Ted Lasso bit going on. Like, it's just about good people
Right.
doing life in this kind of a remarkable setting. But it's really written, I think, to make you aspire to something healthy. Even when there's a problem in the plot, they don't make the plot the thing. Like they resolve it within like 3 minutes. So you have this like really awkward moment, for example, in the I don't want to spoil it, but you have this like really awkward moment in a particular place, and you're like, oh no, this is going to last 3 episodes.
Great.
But you're like, oh gosh, the fallout of this is going to be 3 episodes, and we're going to have to have a blah 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 blah, and it's like over in 3 minutes, and you're like, oh good, yeah, I can rest this part of my brain and just go back to enjoying these people, you know.
What do you think about the relationship between so Noah has a brother. It's really interesting. Like both of these characters have siblings, same-sex siblings that they're very close with, and they're sort of like the
so she has a sister, he has a brother. Yeah.
Exactly. So the brother is married to this woman, and it's a really interesting relationship. I think one of my favorite moments is, the wife is like honking, and she's like yelling her husband's name, and you're thinking, what a witch, right? Like she's just like, get your ass over here. What are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. The moment he gets in the car, she's like, hey, honey, it's good to see you.
Yeah.
And kisses him. And it's like, it's a really interesting kind of like thing that sort of plays out where they get each other. I think that's the part that I really loved. And that's kind of how Ryan and I are, where we constantly tell each other, like, we are only right for each other. My criticism only lands with you. Yeah. He says like funny things, and I'm like, any other woman would be horrified if you said these things to them. And I think it's hilarious. And it's like, we just are such a good fit for each other. And I see that dynamic play out between those two, that her sort of like harsh exterior, it melts when she's with her husband, and it kind of like, she lets the walls down, and he knows how to love and lean into that. Kind of an interesting dynamic. I don't know if this is going to land for people who have never seen the show, or maybe
they're going to watch it now, and then they're going to
come back
opinion.
and listen to this. Listen to this episode.
If you have not watched this episode and you decide that you want to watch it, come back and talk to it. We'll talk to you. Come on the podcast. We'll talk to you.
And we'll just like dissect it.
Whatever.
It's like a book club for a show.
Watch shows together. No, I think that relationship is intriguing. There's actually a little scene that they dissect that, like why they work. When Noah and his brother and a third guy are sort of talking about, particularly in the Jewish community, like why you pick who you pick, and whether or not fun is a part of it, and what is the system, and and there's a whole bunch of like sort of what is it, intimation, like or sort of connotation that there are contracts built into this community of like how these relationships work, and fun is only a part of it sort of behind closed doors, like it's not part of the gig. And so that's I think why Sasha, the brother, is like kind of looking for his way to express himself, because he doesn't get to do that in public with her. Yeah. But like when it's just the two of them, they have a real kind of affinity and loyalty to each other and to their kid, which is pretty lovely. The B plot is challenging because we don't quite know where it's going. The B plot is that Sasha, the brother, and
the sister, I don't know her
the sister
name,
form a bond about being loser siblings together.
Yeah.
Like we're the loser siblings, so they form their own little kind of loyalty, which is, I don't know. It's the only part of the show that made me go, I hope they don't turn that into something
like I don't
sketchy.
Well, but she says I had a sex dream about the brother. And that's where you start to go, is this like a slippery slope of these two having a connection as you know, she's single, he's married, and you kind of like, don't screw it up.
That's going to be a season 2 thing though. So
yeah. Hey, I have to ask you this question because I thought this is where you were going, is this idea of he wants to make things really serious with her. And in order to do that, there's this constant tension of
Noah
dreams.
wants to make things serious with Joanne, you mean?
Yeah. And in order to do that, because he's about to be promoted to head rabbi, he cannot be in a relationship with someone who is not Jewish. Right. And so he said, would you ever consider converting? Mm-hmm. That's where I thought you wanted to go, is this idea of compromise in the relationship of something that is like a real serious value. We've always talked about, I think a lot of relationships, there's not very many things that would break a relationship up, like ultimatum wise. Sure. And I'm just wondering, you know, like, what do you think about this idea of having somebody convert, or, you know, like, where is the line when it comes to leaning in or compromising too much?
Yeah, it is a really interesting question. And ironically or notably, I have this issue in my office right now. Literally, Jewish guy wants to marry this girl. She's not Jewish. She's in the process of converting, but she's converted. She's conflicted about it. Like it's an intense process in the sense that you're invited to really examine like your belief system and kind of adopt a new, like it's a reinvention of your kind of way of being on the planet. And so it does require quite a bit of compromise, and they're sorting it out right this second. But I think, you know, we've talked before about how like maybe the only thing you can't figure out is whether or not to have a baby if one of you is 100% sure you want one and one of you is 100% sure you don't want one. You know, but in this show, you got two people who are grappling with indeed their sense of core identity, who they are on the planet and what their dreams are and how they want to live and who they want to be. And then they're confronted with this real chemistry and affinity and love for one another. And, you know, I don't want to spoil the show because it's literally what the show is about. Right. But I think, again, you've got, at least in Noah, a character who's like really thoughtful about that and open-handed and doesn't pressure and is, you know, and she too. But, you know, the thing, again, that's unusual, that I thought was so unusual, is that this man was written in this way, like as a guy who could accept influence and who could hold tension and who could do strength and tenderness at the same time. Like, I think there's a lot of, I don't know, it's really cool to watch them kind of figure out if and how to move through this complicated situation, you know?
I do have to say, like, there's a really interesting dynamic that happens where the two of them are sort of exploring vulnerability. That's an aspect that is explored. And you kind of present her as like the mess, him as he's kind of got it figured out, even though,
he's a mess too, right? Like,
they're both kind of a mess, but he is really gentle, really kind. Like, there's a lot of amazing characteristics, but he learned something from her where she says, like, just try on vulnerability. People connect with you so much better when you're open and you're able to be vulnerable. And so he's literally counseling, a couple in his office, and he notices that they're having a hard time connecting with each other and talking vulnerably. And so to kind of kick that off, he starts with a little personal sharing and vulnerability. And so, you know, kind of like reciprocation, what is that called? Like the law of reciprocation theory, whatever it might be. It's like, if I'm vulnerable, then you feel like obligated to also be vulnerable. And then you see her do the same thing where she's going to say something to him and she has to turn her back to him in order to say it because it's so uncomfortable. And so I just think that it is very cool to see how these two, kind of like explore this idea of vulnerability. There's a lot in this, and I think it is really well done. It's, and if you're not paying attention, I think you could just be entertained by it. But if you're listening to this podcast,
you don't have to overthink it. You're allowed to just enjoy it.
You can, but as couples therapists, we watch this and we go, "Oh, there's a lot here. There is a lot that can be learned." So if you just kind of listen to us and you're like, "Oh, I can be entertained and I can learn," watch this with your learning glasses on and see what you can gain from this couple as they sort of move through their relationship.
Yeah. I'm into it. I've been telling people to watch it. I now have told the whole world to watch it.
9 billion of our listeners.
But really, the purpose again, and I think I'm more than happy to highlight excellent shows that feature other themes. But in this case, as a man, I was surprised and changed by the options that the writers and that character revealed to me about how I can stay in a posture of yes toward my wife, my kids, my clients, like whatever it is. Like all of that is, I don't know, it's kind of cool. So I wanted to pass it on.
Can I just mention this for a second? I saw something come through in my inbox, and basically it was support for therapists. And I think what it was called was something like political fatigue, something like that. Is that you can get fatigued by watching the news, watching just the dynamics that are going on. There's a lot of pain, a lot of sorrow going on. And so this was like a training basically teaching therapists how to kind of like disengage and take care of themselves, like a stance of self-care. And I will just say, we're talking about media, and I have been leaning into these lighthearted shows a lot lately because I do feel fatigued by what's going on in the world. I do feel like just the heaviness of it all. And I've watching something that is lighthearted, kind people, feels really good. And I found myself watching Fuller House of all things, which is just like one of those sketch, like just really lighthearted. And sometimes it's nice to just go back to things that are not scary, not dramatic, just a little bit of like love and silliness. So anyway, that's my.
I'll offer a show that's the opposite. It's also on Netflix. And it is disturbing to me. Oh. But it's a show called, I think it's called Kevin Can Fuck Himself. And it is, it's promoted as a sitcom where this woman is in a relationship with a guy named Kevin. And in their home, and when Kevin is present, the show is shot like a sitcom. So it looks like Fuller House.
Right.
Like it's bright and it's the furniture's. But when Kevin is not around.
Like in front of a stage, like they're on a stage.
Yeah, totally. It's but when Kevin is not around, the show shifts into a visually, it's presented like a drama, more like a Breaking Bad kind of. It looks more like Breaking Bad.
Interesting.
In terms of the way it's filmed, because she is in two different realities. She's in a reality with her husband and her family that she's supposed to be like conforming to the sitcom-y baloney. And then when he's not around, or she leaves the house, or she goes to work, she's now dealing with the darker reality of her life and the discontent and kind of the problematic parts. And so while I think there is absolutely value in watching shows that help you disconnect and just absorb good, this is a different kind of show, which really does make you kind of grapple with the different ways we need to show up in different places, particularly if one of those places is inside of our own sense of self. So
that's
like I found myself thinking about it. I can only watch like one or two at a time. And when I say one or two at a time, it's like I wait a week.
Wow.
Yeah. It's not like I watch two and then I watch two more tomorrow night. Like I have to like kind of wait a whole week to.
Is it because there's such like a dissonance between her sense of self? Okay. All right. Well, that's interesting. I had that conversation.
The gal who is the lead is the girl from Schitt's Creek, the daughter.
Oh, I love
who's
her.
the brother of Daniel Levy. I can't remember what her name is, but
Right.
She's the lead in this show, and she's brilliant. I mean, it's like she has a really tough job to go basically play two different characters.
Yeah. But isn't that like what we do in real life? Like some people have such a dissonance. Like I was talking to a client last week, and she's falling apart. Like literally, I started the session off. I don't think they listen to the podcast, but I started the session off and I just asked her, I was like, how you doing? And she goes, okay. And her husband did like, I'm sorry, did you just say you're okay? Yeah. Like, you're not okay. And then I said, can we just for a second acknowledge that he said you're not okay and you told me that you're okay? I was like, what's that about? And then we spent the rest of the session having her completely unravel. And she just was like, I can't do this. I have to function. And so I can't allow myself to actually check in. But if you ask me, how am I doing? I'm okay. That's like the sitcom-y version of what you're talking about. Is like this woman, it's probably like living in a sitcom, filling the role. And then maybe when nobody's watching, nobody is paying attention, then she has this like dual life of now I come undone, unglued, unhinged, unraveled, whatever it might be. But yeah, that's I'll watch that show while I'm folding laundry one at a time.
Yeah, I don't know what. Yeah, sure.
I to really me, it's like that actress.
You kind of have to like be paying attention. So if you can do that while folding laundry, great.
Well, unfortunately, that's the only way you're going to get me is if I'm doing something else while I'm somewhat watching a show.
There you go.
That's my attention span. Okay, well, let's land this plane. If you enjoy the show as much as we do, send us an email and just say, cool, thanks for the recommendation. I want to bang Noah as well.
Come on.
I want to snuggle him. I actually wondered what it would be like to kiss a man with a big furry beard like he has.
I just want him to be my rabbi. I'm not even Jewish, and I want that guy to like teach me how
pastor.
To be a better person. Yeah. All right.
Adios. Thanks so much for listening to this episode of Marriage Therapy Radio. The show that we were talking about is on Netflix. It's called, Nobody Wants This. Nobody Wants This. It has Kristen Bell and Adam Brody. And we really like it. And it would be fun if you also watched it, but watched it through the lens of watching a relationship and what can you learn? That's, I think, what we were trying to get at. Thanks for all of your time and attention, making your relationship better today than it was yesterday.